I kind of woke up per se in 2004, started to invest in income producing assets. And now my mission is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, yes, I have another YouTuber, you guys, but this one, he is talking financial literacy, real estate. Kris, who owns Tidewater Real Estate and Constructions. He does it all, and his links will be in the description box. Kris, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you, Kellen.
Hey, good to see you, brother. I really enjoy your channel, and when I enjoy a channel, I say, man, he's talking what I'm talking, so I want to talk to him. Can you let the people know just a little about yourself, and then after this interview, they can go, subscribe and follow?
Sure, Kellen. First of all, it's an honor to meet you. I appreciate you for putting this together. Yeah, well, back in the day, I was a music producer living a destructive lifestyle, and I found out that that lifestyle was put on me. I didn't even know that I was following a pattern. So I kind of woke up per se in 2004, started to invest in income producing assets. And now my mission is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. Get to hang out with cool people like you every day now.
Awesome. Talk about the music a little bit, because we see the plaques, I see the platinum plaques, talk about that, just because people say, wait, you mean I can go from music to real estate? Duh, yeah, you can do that. So
it's so crazy you bring that up, Colin. Now that I'm aware, I'm like, why the hell was I trying to go get a record deal? Like, I am the damn record deal. I'm like, why the hell am I going to get some white man to say that your music is good, to sell it back to my people? It's just, I mean, it literally will warp your mind when you think about it. If one were to think about it, like, why the hell I'm creating a product? I am the product. I've got the vision. I got the street. I got the mute, everything. And I got to package it all up, give it to you. You're outside of my culture. Then you're going to sell it back to my people. Give me a point. So I don't even want to go there. But yeah, man, we just got to wake up. Just got to wake up.
Okay. And I have to ask this a little further, because, I hate name dropping, but because people see the plaques, they're going to say, who are the plaques by? Who is that? He looks familiar. That's my daddy.
Well, R.I.P. John Mitchell. I was working. I can't believe he's gone. He was one of the producers with Dave Hollister. I was able to go and work with Dave back in the day, who was signed to Teddy Riley. And then with Pick Conley, I was working with 702. And then the big one was with my boy Jay Praise. Shout out to Jay Praise with the Wankster with 50 Cent. And that's when the money just started rolling in. That's when I found out that I was financially illiterate.
No, that's awesome. Now, why do you think, and this is a question, I got my start in music, but in the journalism side is how I started. And, back when magazines were a thing and we were writing for them all. Why do you think that musicians, a lot of times we see in the later years, folks can't keep up with that lifestyle? Why aren't more folks in music saying, let me, strengthen my financial knowledge and find out what the next hustle, so I can flip this just like I would anything else? And some people rap about it all day. What do you think the barrier is? Is it a conspiracy, or is it on the musicians and they just think this life is going to last forever?
Good point, dog. Kellen, what I think is from me, I was trying to just find happiness. I was trying to find happiness, and being an artist was like, you know what? I want to express myself and all that stuff, which is cool. But at the end of the day, I found out that the pursuit of property is much more powerful than the pursuit of happiness, which was the first law anyway, right? They changed it to happiness later. So we are not taught to pursue property. We're just trying to pursue life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. So do what feels good, as opposed to saying, listen, we're at war. People trying to take everything you got and make you work for them for the rest of your life. So you need to figure out a way. Can you make this money, make music? And the big thing they don't tell you is if the music business is this big pie, only 10% of it is music, as you know. I mean, the other 90% is business and stabbing, cutting, and stealing and beating up people and kidnapping people and making people put a song on an album. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. So is there anything that, now that you're in this position, can you go back into music and say, hey, y'all really need to come. I know you have a song on your YouTube channel for the opener, and that's just natural. Do you think that you're able to go back? Or I sometimes see music like the NFL. As soon as you get drafted in the NFL, they bring you to the back room, tell you everybody and your mama's going to try to rob you, but use our people. They're going to be okay, though. Our people are all right, even though we haven't seen that. Like, is there anything, powers that be, the puppet masters, are they blocking someone like you to go back in and say, hey, y'all, take this, money and do this with it instead of going to buy a $300,000 car?
Oh, yes. It's so weird when I talk to my counterparts and they're talking about where I'm trying to get an album placement, or I'm trying to talk about inclusion, and they talk about we're working on a film to shop it to this company. I'm like, it just hurts my spirit. I'm like, you are the plug. You are the product. Why are you trying to give it to them? But it is challenging because it's just beat into, especially with my elders, people my age that haven't got a lick, so to speak, yet. Because a lot of people be in the business, as you know, Kellen, for years and never get a plug.
Yeah.
So they're on that hamster wheel as opposed to saying, look, let me just focus on the plug, because the record industry will give you large amounts of money. Our first check was 200,000, which was at that time, $1 million to me. But I should have done like Master P. If this white man gonna give me 200,000, what am I really worth? But I didn't even look at it like that.
Yeah. No, that's that. So what was that turning point where it clicked and you said, okay, I gotta go do real estate investment, get into construction?
Yeah, in 2004, all the money was rolling in from the music. And then I went broke. I spending it, popping bottles, traveling, drinking, drugging, sexing, all that stuff. Noticed that my money was going down, down, down. I'm like, I got a lot of songs, but music in itself doesn't go up in value. See, the rich man has pulled the wool over the ordinary people's eyes. They're not any better, smarter. They don't know too much. They just know a few more things, but we own stuff that goes up over time, as opposed to relying on ourselves for the money. Like, I'm not that good. I own a bunch of real estate that's going to pay me money every month and go up in value while I'm over here chilling. I'm just not that much better. So I realized in 2004, you got to have some assets, man. You ain't nothing. And I mean, you're still God's child, but if you own a job, I call it, you're familiar with the cash flow quadrant, right?
Yes,
I'm changing it. Like, I'm turning it into the class flow quadrant. If you're on the left side of the quadrant, you are a permanent underclass, because you cannot pass down an E or self-employed. Your class is solidified. It's frozen. And when you move on to the afterlife, you can't pass it down. So you're setting your family up to be a permanent underclass.
definitely. And I think you might be a fan of Dr. Claude Anderson talking like that, and Damon Dash, when you talk like that, because I know definitely I am, and my kids have to read those books. I'd love them to listen to Dame, but he cursed too much. So
yeah, that's great.
But so with this knowledge, do you think that when I see you and I represent YouTubers, and I am in the Black YouTube space, especially, folks say, oh, that's that guy who charges a lot of money, but he gets stuff done. Do you think that you might have like a course? Because you could have like a hip hop real estate course, and it could even be like a retreat where you could do it just as fly as anything else in entertainment, but you put that money. So instead of popping bottles, let me show you how to pop this stock. Let me show you what this, Forex or whatever else you like to get into. Is that something that, we might see in the future from you?
That's a good idea, man. I mean, I got one guy, he still had his ear to the street, but I'm so far from my ear to being to the streets. I need guys like you to kind of keep me, because like, dude, when you get into the financial world, it's almost like putting a suit on. We don't even talk music anymore. Remember that 90-10?
Yeah.
I ain't got time. Like, I'm managing, so much capital. I mean, I don't even have time to think about the creative.
No, it's definitely a different, brain, different zone, different hat you have to put on. So I try every week. I'm going to focus, and it's a natural thing because I don't really like watches, and time is just
good
time with the fam, right?
Yep.
But just to do something cool for finances, because that's why we do this, to bring on cool people who want poor people. Because even if you do an MBA, I don't care where you go, Harvard or Harvard of the South, Grambling State University, when you're sitting in class and it's just like, you're talking about all this stuff, but it's not really practical because maybe I don't have, the 100,000, but maybe I have 10. A lot of those students with financial aid got 10,000 stacked up every semester. And then to show them a cool way to flip that into something, because you're going to owe either way. But let me show you, if you're going to owe, let this bring some money, because our minds are conditioned to keep taking if it's given.
That's a good point, man. It's a good point.
Yeah. So what makes you the most happy in real estate? Because I know you love real estate, but you don't like real estate. So
how did you know that?
Man, we do, I've done this a couple times. So we do research, and what is it that you love, and what is it that you don't necessarily like about real estate?
Oh boy. I mean, I'm in litigation now. I just bought a house. The seller hasn't moved out. I mean, I could go on and on and on about the stories. I got people want to back out of the deal. It's just the unknowns of real estate. Like we bought like the one I just bought last week. Seller don't want to move out, So I mean, I knew it was going to be a problem, but just the unknowns. We tear up on a wall, then we got to replace the whole wall. Those are the things that are challenging about real estate. It's so many unknowns. But I will tell you, unknown is a good point. I don't know if you're familiar with Tony Robbins. Mm-hmm. Uncertainty is it's almost like an attraction that entrepreneurs like you, it's almost like we need, like with that uncertainty. Like, I have no idea how much money I'm going to make next month, right? You don't know. So uncertainty, that's why, like, my wife is certain. She's like, I need 40 hours a week, I get my money. So, we attract different people, but the uncertainty of real estate, that's the thing that's just challenging, man. But on the other hand, my rentals, I know 100% that the government is going to print the money for my Section 8 tenants, and it will be direct deposited in my bank every month. So those are the things that I like about it.
Okay. And being COVID times, I mean, I bet that came like really in handy, where you're like, this Section 8 money is guaranteed. Did that put a smile on your face where you saw maybe some of your friends talk about, I don't know what's going to happen. I owe the bank money, but my tenants won't pay me?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Matter of fact, I was so passionate about it that I created a full course, and I can give your people the link there if you want to share it with them. I literally created a full real estate, the landlord's guide to Section 8 housing, because I saw this coming. All summer, I worked on this thing with the baby, kids at home, wife, creating a 42 training module course to teach you how to do Section 8, because I think that is so important. And yeah, my counterparts are hurting, man. They got vacancies. People ain't paying. In New York, they have a saying, live 3 for free. You don't got to pay rent till next year.
Yeah, ain't that something? And that hurts that hurts on the inside, because when you have that mentality, you can't live in abundance. You can't live where God really wants you to be purposeful. And I'm gonna say something that the medical community may not like, but a lot of y'all with student loans who are physicians who think, because there's no interest, I'm not gonna pay. You make enough money to pay.
Pay it.
You should pay so you can be done with it. It's not going anywhere. They're not doing any bailouts, for this.
Not student loans.
Yeah. And if they do, it's not going to be for medical doctors, because they've already had their time back in the day, so pay that money. So
pay it off, man. Pay it. Most powerful thing I learned in my life was making small payments diligently over time will turn you into a millionaire, man. It's just really amazing how it works.
Now, this course, I'll definitely take the link. And folks, if you see a price tag on the course, the great things you need in life, sometimes they cost you, sometimes they're a blessing, right? So when you see that link, click it and learn something. What do you most want, like, to see, like, your goal with your YouTube and your courses? What do you want to really do and see the impact in the community?
What I want to, it stemmed from, I'm just sick of meeting broke people, especially people that look like me. I'm sick of it. I guess, I don't know, maybe I was one of them, so I didn't see it. Now I'm like, look, I'm just sick of meeting people 40, 50, 60 don't own. I'm like, you renting? And it's cool if that's what you want to do, but I'm like, you renting, dog. At 45, you renting, really. You out there looking for the next nice new apartment to rent. Come on, man. We got to do something about that. If your balance sheet, if you go into the bank and I'm gonna tell you my typical intake sheet for my inner circle. High rent, new car, high car payment. Income is okay. We make 60, 70,000. Credit card is maxed. No net worth or negative net worth. Car ain't worth what you paid for it. Got kids, but you looking good. I mean, fly clothes. I'm like, damn, you look good. I sit down with these people. I'm like, you look good, but I'm looking at this paper like you look like you ugly. So it's really not about. It's so crazy. I don't know why my parents raised me like this. Like the clothes I wear, dude, they cost $10, But I know guys that walk around when I go to the auction. They walk around with hundreds of thousands of dollars in cashier's checks that they could go to the foreclosure auction and buy at any day of the week. I know these dudes. I hang out with them. We go to the bar or whatever. So I'm like, that real worth is not how you look. It's just irrelevant. So I want my people to know that just because you get a few dollars, you don't have to show it off. You need to go get some assets, which has been kind of covered. It's been covered for my people for so long. We want to reveal that, the great revelation.
It's crazy. And I do a lot of business and investment in Africa, different countries in Africa. And when everywhere you go in Africa, you might see Gucci, but it's not, it's $10 Gucci you can get from the store because no one really cares. No one cares if your bag is Louis real or Louis fake. But here, folks will be ready to clown, make a TikTok video out of it. Like that means something. While they too are living next door to you in your apartments, no, and no disrespect, because we've all had times where we've had to, hurdle up and boss up. And if you won, you probably had a time where you lost and you're like, man, I don't even know if I'm going to have a home, but I'm willing to, roll the dice on this deal to make it work. But what I love about what you're doing and how to show people to make money, because that's what I'm doing as well. But also I tell people, if you ever get tired of America and you want to go overseas, especially in most of Africa and many parts in Asia, $3,000 a month is all you need to be rich. Wow. House help, drivers, this, that. And you don't have to worry about the stress of other stuff, even politics, because you're a foreigner. Who cares? Just live your life,
You should teach a course on that, dog. I would love. My thing is, I need that. I would love to take that class and teach me how to go live over there.
Well, I do have a program, and I'll send it to you. I have a couple different ways where we do some, consulting, but I also have a partner. We're going, and we have already 4 people signed up to go to Rwanda and
nice.
House you. You can come yourself. You can come with your family, and they teach you how to make money. And Ty Nichols, he's been a guest on here, so I'll show you that interview as well. But
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Well, we need more people that look. The problem is, it's not enough people. It's more people that look like you doing destructive stuff than doing productive stuff. Because the system, they just mass it on the TV screen. They just put so much of it out there. Then when you come on, they're like, and I'm not saying you look. I'm not anything about your image. It's what you look like is what they want to. They want to put it in this box that you can't have what we have because you look a certain. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, I told you I started with music, and with music, you got to have a goon squad, or you are the goon squad. And I up and played every position possible except the one bending on any knee, because I'm a man, and I was no kissing of the ring over here. But coming up, that's you. I think a lot of times we play the position that we can easily get into. Mm-hmm. And for me to give this type of advice 15 years ago, people would say you're crazy. But people who said I was crazy 15 years ago when I said I'm going to go to Africa for a month. And they're like, well, what? Missionary or this and that? I'm just going to go chill. I got friends. I got connect. This is what I do. And so a lot of us don't want to graduate to whatever the next step is. And let's be honest, our friends and family want to keep us in that comfort box because they don't want to hear. I know your people don't want to hear, hey, you can do something better with that money. Kris, that's Kris, man. Come on. light-skinned Kris, Drake's cousin. One of I mean, am I wrong or am I wrong?
They're not ready. Yeah, they ain't ready to hear
it at home.
it. They're not ready to hear it, man. You're right. But still, it's up to our job to keep beating it on them, right? We got to just keep beating it on them. That's all we can do.
Yeah, and what's crazy is if you pull up in an exotic,
you good. You good. You good. You good.
Yeah, and there's a time and a place, and I always thank the app Turo, Turo, because that time and place, that $300,000 car can go right back to the owner to do the maintenance, so I can take that $18,000 for that Aston Martin for the year that it takes to maintain it and do something else with it and put people on. Because I think if you're not hiring, that's not giving, that's not living. You got to be able to hire. And I just love when I see, people like yourself. Do you ever get down that your platform isn't as big as a Valuetainment, someone I know you've interviewed? Do you ever say, I'm as good and I'm with and I can give the game? Do you ever why are my people not listening the way they need to?
Yeah, it can do a thing with your mind when you think about, I get emails, obviously, like you, all day. Like, as many times as I've told people, don't buy a house in your name and don't put it in your company name. They'll say, hey, I'm buying a house in my name, da-da-da. I'm like, I don't know what crazy man. My mentor says, what idiot? I don't say that. He says, what idiot will put a house in their name? So yeah, it can get you down. But then once again, I'm very cool at who I am with the disc analysis. I'm like, I know where I'm at, where I need to be, and it'll increase over time. But yeah, sometimes, but not really though. I mean, I'm luckily to know the Patricks of the world. I mean, luckily I've been able to meet those type of guys. But I ain't ready to put that type of work in, man. I got 3 kids, and this dude sleeps 4 hours a day. I won't make it. I'll burn out.
Now, with the real estate and the construction piece, you also go after the RFPs that the government, send. And are you also looking for that type of work?
Are you talking about the
request for proposals at the government contracts?
Oh yeah, I had a friend that did that, man. He made big money. But let me tell you what I found out with this stuff, man. Did you know he was my mentor? He was doing, I don't know, $50,000 a month on one job. I would go to the bank with him to deposit $6, $7, $8 million checks, man. That's the first time I seen those big type of checks with those government programs. But even in that, he had a partner that was a white guy. So what the white guys have done is they get a minority and attach it to them so they can be a minority, right? You look like you shaking your head. You must know this. And they block the real people that need the money. So it's almost like, dude, even getting those contracts, I mean, you can get some, but to get the big ones, the white guys have the pawn guy. He owns 75% of the company. He gets a check. So I have never really looked for that type of stuff. I mean, when I saw him do it, and then they railroaded him, oh my God. Dude went from living in a beach house, 2 Hummers, private school, to sleeping in his car. So I seen how that game works with that private government contract stuff.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. People, keep in mind, this is all freestyle that we're doing. He didn't know the questions I was going to ask. And I talk about these things because we're an 8A firm.
8A? You are? So you know the deal.
Yeah.
You already know that? That's what he was.
Yeah. It's a game. It's all a game. It's a game that, if you play it with precision, I've seen the same thing. And they use me as the pawn. I don't want to be the pawn. I'd rather just let me be the subcontractor. Don't use me as a pawn, right? Because
you can play the game. Now, you're right. My guy didn't play it right. Mm-hmm. He didn't play it right, Kellen. He should have done exactly that. Start off here, restructure it as you move up. He let these dudes railroad him.
It's hard, and I have a person out here in Florida who has told me he's been sued back for $1 million twice. So it's
from the government?
From the government. They give you the money just to, almost take it back. And you got to play the game right. And they know when you're just ready to tap dance and kiss the ring and do everything. My hair is kind of a rebellion to say, Okay, I don't have to play the game anymore.
Good.
I'm gonna do it my way. You
Good.
know, y'all got a problem with the way I do it? It's okay. We don't do business, man.
Good.
You know, it's cool. But I just love that you said that, because again, God is always doing what he's supposed to be doing and working through us, and we don't even know.
I know you was 8A.
Yeah. And you know what? When you're 8A, they go through everything. They come do your house visit. We were living in Seattle at the time. We're new to Florida. And they looked under your rug, basically. My wedding ring. They said, you didn't put your wedding ring on here. I said, you really wanted my wedding ring? And I had one TV in the house because we don't need to be watching TV all day. I got to monitor that. And so they said, and you didn't put your TV. I said, TV's under $1,000. You want to know all of that? Like, you know, I was about to, you know, go other places and say, do you need to, you know, do the strip search? Mm-hmm. Make sure I'm not hiding some vibranium or something. But with all your success, what is like a community give back that you are doing or that you want to do in the future?
Yeah, single moms, man. Single moms. I'm like, I got a wife and it's hell raising these kids. How many kids you got?
2.
How old are they?
10 and me, I'm 39.
Now, how old are your kids?
10 and 6.
10 and 6. Okay, so you're done with the baby. I don't know if you get, I got my newborn's crying now. Kellen, I just don't know how these, and especially my Black single moms, how in the hell do they go to work, pay the bills, watch the kid, feed the kid, take care of the house, and look good while you're doing it? How do they do it? So for me, we already donate cars and all. I don't like, you know, broadcasting that stuff. But yeah, single moms, dog. Any single mom. I want to have a daycare here where people can just drop off kids for free. But COVID, after that's over, I'm gonna let single moms, like, look, if you need an hour, 2 hours, you could just drop your kid off here at any time. Because it's our fault. It's the dude's fault. We don't, we do this stuff to these ladies, man, and they, and it's crazy. So I got a single moms. That's where I'm at, yo. Because I finance car dealers, right? So I'm like, if it's a single mom, just give them a break. Just give them the car, man. Give them a discount or whatever.
And see, that could almost spin off into a whole different segment or YouTube show with you, where you can talk about the single moms, because being in the YouTube space, I see the whole manosphere and how they down women and how you ain't nothing if you're not, 6 figures. And it's like, first of all, you ain't nothing because I know what you get paid. I always jokingly and say my relationship with YouTube is a little different.
How is that?
Don't get your channel shut off.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
And I'm not a YouTuber. I put this stuff out on YouTube, but I don't go out and use my clients' platforms to push my own stuff because I kind of have a different vibe flow. I'll tell somebody in a second, yo, we just don't vibe. You think you're rich? Let me show you what rich is. Because, my neighbor is rich. You know what I mean? He doesn't even stay in this house most of the time. And
holy cow.
They're rich. Down the street from me is Mar-a-Lago. That dude owes a lot of money, but he's rich.
Mm-hmm. Big difference, right?
Yeah, big difference. And we got to stay humble because this is America. Anything can happen.
Bigger fish. Always a bigger fish out there, dog.
Always. And it's just, it's a blessing. Now, tell me this. With the, construction and the real estate, how often do you go back into making music, whatnot? Because music is something that not at all.
No, I'm done.
Okay.
Once in a while, if you can see, I got my Pro Tools rig over here. It's so crazy when I say Pro Tools. When you said that when I was in the game, it was like, you got Pro Tools? Now it's like, I got a 002 over here. I paid like $3,000 for it. I went on eBay. It's like $250.
Wow.
So I like to meet guys like you. You guys keep me to the street. So I got 1 million tracks, right? So I can kind of let the hip hop dudes rap over it. I got some stuff with Jay-Z. I got to find this on a DAT too. I mean, I'm done. It's not even in my spirit. My thing is putting on other people and let their platforms make money. I wouldn't even. I'm done.
Okay. Have you heard about this? How I believe that you pronounce it hypnosis, how they're buying up everybody's catalog. They bought up, Rodney Jerkins' catalog, and they're about Justin Bieber's. They'll say, look, I'll give you 30 million for, 900 songs or something like that. Have you heard or been approached at all with any of that?
I haven't heard of that, but it makes sense though. Ownership is the new. Ownership is gold. If you don't own nothing, you just a permanent underclass. Money's irrelevant. I can always print, make more. They know that.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm just saying that because, when talking about ownership, and we've seen BET sell, we've seen some of our best Black businesses just build something great. And I know it's a struggle, you know what I mean? But then they sell it, and it's like, now look at BET. Now, what will these songs be that they're buying all these songs? And we know they're worth this money, but because people are, I say, kind of selfish and want to spend their money now and not think about their children's children, like the scriptures talk about, it's like, okay, I'll sell. And I'm just like, why? Why are we not understanding? We're not even working for us. Like Dame says, we're working for the last name. Yeah, and I just want to get your thoughts on that.
It's rough, dude. You know what? I don't know, man. I think it takes somebody to be like, I tell my wife and my children, I didn't blow up till I was 41. It took me 40 years to figure it out, right? It took me 40 years. So you figured it out younger. So everybody has their different time. But my mentor would always say, Kris, you do not win the game. You can't win Monopoly if you sell. He said, no one's ever won the game by selling the house or the assets. So I just keep it in mind every time it's a little tight. I'm a little struggle, like, I don't want to sell. Nah, can't sell, man. Can't sell. I'm done with selling. Sell doesn't even exist other than the flipping. When I'm, some houses we about to flip, but holding is the only way to go, dog. But it takes maturity for that, though. And your cash flow has to be met, as you know. If you ain't got your cash flow right, you done.
Oh, no, definitely. Talking about cash flow, what's your favorite, game to play? Is it Monopoly, or is it Dave Ramsey's Act Your Wage, or the cash flow quadrant? Which one do you like?
Well, being that I have kids, we have a digital Monopoly now. With the new one, they've got a credit card thing. You just swipe to buy the property. I thought that was cool, almost like Bitcoin. So now we just play Monopoly, the kids.
Could you ever see yourself doing your own game, whatnot? Putting a little a flair on it. I've seen, that become more trending, especially during these COVID times. And I think that the more we can do, the more the next generation will be like, hey, we have it that much easier. Not that we don't want them to work, Kris. I want my kids to be able to have a passion to do something. I'm not one of those. I don't know if you hear people say, my kids don't even have to work. And I'm like, your kids are going to be losers.
They're going to be losers. They're going to be losers, yeah. The problem is you can't pass down grit. You can't pass down. What did Ron LeGrand tell me? He's like, Kris, you can't pass down. There was a verb he used, man. It slips my mind at the time, but you can't pass down enthusiasm, passion. You can't pass it down. It has to be gained over time. And it's challenging. It's challenging.
Okay, awesome.
Can't pass it down.
Kris, I can talk to Kris all day and give you all the game, but he already has the game laid out on his YouTube page. All you got to do is click the button, subscribe to it, reach out to him, whatever he has. Kris, do you have a book yet?
Yeah, the book's on Amazon. I got 2. How to flip houses you don't own. It's cheap. And then you go to my chrishaskins.com to get both of them. And then the Real Estate Negotiating Bible. You got to learn, if you can't negotiate, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate out here. Kellen, I'm sure you know that. So you got to have the Real Estate Negotiating Bible.
I'm always a work in progress. So to hear it again and again and 100 times, it never hurts, right? So we'll take the game as many times and get hit over it. So it's just, just like our football coach, go through that hole, but they're right there. Go through that hole and stick somebody. And it's that same type of flair you got to hit this business with, because they don't teach it in school. I don't care. Again, if you went to an MBA program, you got to get in the game, get your hands dirty with this.
Adversity, that's what it was. Ron told me, Kris, you can't pass down adversity.
Yeah.
So we can't teach them. You can't teach them adversity. They have to learn it on their own.
That's good. That's good. So y'all been hit with the game. I almost want to call this is what your daddy should have told you. Kris gave you the game. Hit you with it. Thank you, Kris. Y'all like, share, subscribe, and be blessed.